All praises to God the Father through his Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. Hello, everyone. Today, we want to start off in the book of Mark, chapter 1, verse 23. And so we'll read it here. And there was in the synagogue a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying, Let us alone. What have we to do with thee, thou Jesus of Nazareth? Art thou come to destroy us? I know thee who thou art, the Holy One of God. Every time we would read this part right here, where it says, What have we to do with thee, thou Jesus of Nazareth? That was, when you say you twice, well, just wondered why the two yous there. What have we to do with thee, thou? What have we to do with you, Jesus of Nazareth? Okay, so what have we to do with you, Jesus of Nazareth? I can see that. But what have we to do with you Nazarene? He's calling him a name there. We now know what it is. In this video, we'll explain how that goes. You can see it happened twice here. That same setup. What have we to do with thee, thou? Art thee come to destroy us? I know thee who thou art, the Holy One of God. So that it was the same setup. I know thee who thou art. What have we to do with thee, thou? You and you. The name he gave him here was the Holy One of God. The name he gave him here was Jesus of Nazareth. What's going on with Nazareth? Nazareth. First thing we did was look up the word Nazareth in the dictionary, in our Zondervan. This is a good Bible. This is a little Zondervan. That's how the cover looks. So let's go to the entry where it's for Nazareth, and we'll read. It's right here. I hope you can see that. Yeah, Nazarene. Okay, so we started out with Nazareth, and it just described the country. There's a little picture of it. Here, we saw this entry for the word Nazarene, thinking that it would only be an entry that would say, derived from Nazareth, the home country of Christ. And I would have thought it cut off right there, but it didn't. It went on. Jesus was often called a Nazarene. Used by his friends, it had a friendly meaning. Jesus applied the title to himself. Used by his enemies, it was a title of scorn. And in Acts, adherents of Christianity are called Nazarenes. Okay, so I read that a couple times, and it reminded me of another word that we use today. We call it the N-word, right? They can call themselves N's, or I should say we. We can call ourselves N's. We can call ourselves an N. But if somebody else calls us an N, in some cases, it has legal implications. You can be charged with a crime, possibly, if you go around calling people N's and you're not one. We hear the word often in the music, especially of the younger people, and that word is just a word that's in our lexicon that fits this very same type of usage. So what I did, went to the Greek dictionary, and we said, okay, let's see what the Greek dictionary has to say about the word Nazareth. What does it say? Because sometimes you can get a word like Bethlehem and it'll tell you, house of bread or whatever. What did it have about Nazareth? So we started here. Let's line her up a little bit if I can. Took me to this definition right here. Ooh, that's crooked, but you see what I mean right there. There it is. Nazarenos, number 3479, Actually, we initially came to 3480. Nazareos. Nazaraos. A Nazarene. From here and up, Nazarenos. A Nazarene of Nazareth. It tells us here Nazareth. All these are related. Here it tells us it's from this word right here. I go up here, right, to Nazareth, and as I'm reading across, my eye catches this word right here. It says nega, nega, and that sounds like, right, the word that we were originally questioning. Did Nazarene have anything to do with? Okay, so I know myself. We can all reach a little bit, and I just felt like that's what was happening here. So let me see what the definition of this word is. It's this word here, nagai, nangai. It says probably of Hebrew origin. They know this is the Greek dictionary we're working in here, and they don't know what it is and we well know that Naggai or Nagge, Hebrew had no vowels. So these vowels were added based on probably something somebody was hearing. Nagai, nega. So I go back to see what nagai means. See if that's got anything. Back to the Zondervan, and we'll take a look here. Hope we can see that. Nagg. I know it's here. Hold it. There it is. Right here. Yeah. Naggai. And all it says there is that it's an ancestor of Jesus Christ. It's the name of someone who's an ancestor of Jesus Christ. And it's in Luke 3:25. Okay. Didn't tell us very much more other than this is a person, but we need to remember that name, Nagai, as we go back to this book. And it tells us here to search a little further to this word right here, number 5052, because they're just really not sure, but somehow it leads us here to 5052. So we go over in the Greek dictionary to number 5052. Let's see if I can slide this over. 5052 is here. There we go. Thank you. Okay, 5052 is right here. And this almost screams an answer to the question. Is this Jesus? Is not Nazarene, Jesus the Nazarene? Does this describe him? Does this have anything to do with Jesus of Nazareth? Nagai. Here we go. Number 5052. This almost screams from here, Tello, all the way up. And we're just going to go through it rather quickly, and I'll show you where we're headed. 5052. To be a bearer to completion. Does that describe Jesus of Nazareth? Yes, it does. Every word that looks familiar, we're going to look at it. To expire, be dead. Did he die? Yes, he did. Decease, death, yes. Did he discharge a debt? Yes, he did. Jesus paid a debt he didn't owe because we had a debt we couldn't pay. An impostor levy as paid. Yes, he did. To the end, he paid it. We go back up, started here. A completer. He said, yes, it is finished. It's done. Absolution, there we are again. And to absolve someone of a debt is to receive that debt and pay it as your own. And he did do that. He paid our debt because we could not. Why did he do it? Because he was perfect. We are not. Completely and without wavering to the end, yes. Finish, he did. Was he consummate in character? Absolutely. He was perfect, perfection, completeness, of full age. He was a man, a perfect man. Does that describe Jesus of Nazareth? Yes, it does. And then this right here, the kicker, that when we were looking this up and saw carpenter, that was the clincher. Is that him when he was here on earth? Yes, he was a carpenter. Let's go back to this word, and we're almost done. We're going to have to do maybe two entries on this one. This is very important. We'll go back to Nagai. Okay, Nagai. Here we go. Remember, Nagai, Naggai, is an ancestor of Jesus Christ. That means that Jesus Christ, as a descendant of Nagai, was the same thing Nagai was, right? So we're going to take a minute here and go to our board. We know that when Jesus was called the Nazarene, it probably was a slur. INRI, Iesus Nazarenos, Rex Eudaeum. That's what they put on. Let's just put this up here. That may be better. Let's see if we can switch around. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. This is going to be a little bit crooked, but we're going to get it done anyway. There we go. Let's see. Put a little light back here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Iesus Nazarenos Rex Eudaeum. That is Latin for Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. Here's our name of his relative, Nagai. We'll come back on another video for this name down at the bottom. But this is, when you study this word in Nanko, you'll learn that it tells you what to do with this word right here. And we're just going to do it fairly quickly, and then that'll be the end of this video. We're going to take this word, Nagai. This is what it told us to do with it. The word was how would they spell? It said to move the I, the A, the I, oyo. When you take that word, it turns it into this phrase right here, a nigger. Jesus of Nazareth was that nigger, Jesus. The question then becomes, if this is correct, well, what is a nigger? You know, it's not an African. It's not a, if I put it like this, it is a Black American. If you're in any place other than here, and you call a Black person a nigger, if he's Jamaican or if he's African, he'll say, I'm not a nigger. I'm from here. I'm from there. But pretty much anybody here will acknowledge who they are. This is Nagai. If Nagai was a nigger, then what does that make Jesus? The question then becomes, can you still love him? Do you still love him? If he is Nagai, if he is that Nazarene, okay, we'll come back with another video and go to this a little bit more. Thank you for listening, and God bless us all.